To address questions about salt, I think it's useful to talk about what does the salt do for the ferment. I mean, the first thing that the salt does is it pulls water out of the vegetables through the physical process of osmosis. And so, people who are making salt-free sauerkrauts have to do a lot more work to get the juice out of the vegetables. When you add salt, the salt starts pulling it out, and the more salt you add, the faster and more dramatic that process of osmosis on the vegetables will be. The second thing that salt does is it actually makes the vegetables crispy. What makes vegetables crispy are pectins, and in the short run, salt hardens the pectins. In the long run, there are enzymes in the vegetables, a group of enzymes collectively known as pectinase enzymes, that break down the pectins. And this is why sometimes as things ferment for long periods of time or in hot weather, they start to get soft. And so the salt slows down those pectinase enzymes. So a salt-free sauerkraut or a very low salt sauerkraut will typically start to get soft faster than a saltier sauerkraut. In terms of nutrition, I mean, that's hard to say. I mean, a saltier sauerkraut has more salt, a higher sodium content, and I would say that the saltier the sauerkraut is, the more modest you would want the portions that you eat to be. But salt also, in addition to slowing down the pectinase enzymes, salt slows down the lactic acid bacteria a little bit. And, in all of the vegetable fermentation traditions where, the primary objective was preservation through, the winter when there were no fresh vegetables, slowing down the process was considered, beneficial. The more salt you use, the slower the process will be. And another factor that figures into that is temperature. The warmer the environment, the faster the process will go. The cooler the environment, the slower it will be. Because of that, I typically use a somewhat heavier salt content when I ferment in the summertime. In hot weather, I use salt to slow things down a little bit. In cooler weather, just because my personal preference in general is lower salt kraut, I typically use a lower proportion of salt.